Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news tonight on Rajya Sabha Television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the latest headlines. On the 145th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the nation in taking the Clean India pledge. Parties release election manifestos. Congress and NCP promise high growth in Maharashtra. BJP bets on good governance in Haryana. China warns Hong Kong protesters, says prolonged pro-democracy demonstrations will tarnish the city's reputation and trigger chaos. At the Asian Games in Incheon, India beat Pakistan to take the gold medal in hockey and book a place in the Rio Olympics. Our top focus on the bulletin tonight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today launched the Swachh Bharat or the Clean India mission. The mission will aim to make India clean by the 2nd of October 2019, which will be Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. Administering Clean India pledge, Modi said that the goal is to eliminate open defecation in the country. Here's a detailed report.
पूज्य बापू ने हमें संदेश दिया था, Quit India, Clean India.
On the 145th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan in the national capital.
और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के कर कमलों द्वारा इस पद यात्रा का शुभारंभ हुआ.
The nation followed suit in the massive clean-up drive. 30 lakh central government staff took a pledge to join the nationwide mission to raise awareness about cleanliness and better sanitation.
मैं शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं स्वयं स्वच्छता के प्रति सजग रहूंगा और उसके लिए समय दूंगा.
आओ हम मिलके करें पूरा बापू का सपना, ये सपना.
The Prime Minister nominated 9 Indians to start the Clean India campaign in public places. Among them are Sachin Tendulkar, Shashi Tharoor and actors Salman Khan, Kamal Hassan, Priyanka Chopra and the entire team of TV show Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma.
जिन 9 लोगों को मैंने आज निमंत्रित किया है, वे जरूर इस काम को करेंगे. इतना ही नहीं, उनसे भी मेरा आग्रह है कि वे भी और 9 लोगों का नाम तय करके उनको भी निमंत्रित करें. अरे 9 की चेन चलती ही रहे.
A World Bank study says shortage of toilets costs the country over $50 billion a year through premature deaths and hygiene-related diseases. The Clean India mission focuses on getting rid of open defecation and installing smart waste management systems aimed at freezing India of rubbish by 2019.
ये गरीबों के स्वास्थ्य के लिए बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण काम है और इसलिए ये भारत माता की सेवा गरीबों की भी सेवा है.
The armed forces also pledged to keep their environs clean as a part of the Clean India drive.
महात्मा गांधी ने जिस भारत का सपना देखा था और उसके लिए समय दूंगा.
Chiefs of Indian Navy, Air Force and Army asked all their officers to take out 2 hours every week from their schedule and help in cleaning their homes and societies.
पूरी फैमिलीज को जो नौसेना का परिवार है, उन्हें एकजुट होकर इसकी तरफ ध्यान देने को कहा है. जैसे हम अपनी सफेद वर्दी को स्वच्छ रखते हैं, वैसे ही हम अपने जहाजों, पनडुब्बियों और बेसेस को स्वच्छ रखेंगे और साथ ही साथ पूरे भारत को स्वच्छ बनाएंगे.
The pledge that you have taken today has been implemented by the Indian Air Force throughout its existence. We do it regularly. We do Shramdan regularly. Every air warrior takes part in Shramdan to keep our environment clean.
The ambitious plan is expected to cost the government 2 lakh crore rupees over 5 years. Modi also linked cleanliness to tourism and economy to say that world-class levels of hygiene and cleanliness are required to give the country a facelift. Public sector undertakings are expected to build 50,000 toilets in schools all over the country by August 2015. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, political leaders and prominent personalities from all walks of life praised the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan initiative of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They said that such a big campaign would go a long way in ensuring a cleaner India.
अगर मैं स्वास्थ्य विभाग के एक साधारण कर्मचारी से ये एक्सपेक्ट करता हूं कि उसको हर काम में अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन करना है, उसमें उसको अपना हार्ट एंड सोल लगाना है, तो उसकी शुरुआत सबसे पहले मेरे से होनी चाहिए।
हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो आग्रह किया है कि अगली 2019 जब जन्म हमारे महात्मा जी का 150 ईयर्स का जो ये बर्थ सेंचुरी होंगे, तो हमारे जो प्रोग्राम तब तक सफल होंगे और सारी दुनिया में भारत ऐसा एक राष्ट्र बनेंगे जिससे दुनिया उसको आदर्श राष्ट्र के हिसाब से स्वीकार करेंगे।
आज हमने देखा है कि विदेशों में जाया जाए तो उधर कितनी सफाई होती है, क्योंकि हर एक नागरिक अपने आप को अपने देश का भागीदार समझता है, हिस्सा समझता है। और पर हमारे देश में आदत ये है कि मैं अपना घर साफ रखूं और घर के बाहर कूड़ा सारा फेंकूं।
यदि स्वस्थ रहना है, प्रसन्न रहना है, आनंदित रहना है और समृद्ध बनना है, तो हम में से हर एक संकल्प ले कि हम अपने घर, अपने गली, हमारे गांव, अपने मोहल्ले, अपने शहर में गंदगी नहीं रहने देंगे।
देश में स्वच्छता हो, देश में विकास हो और देश में गंदगी खत्म करने की जागृति आए, उसके पक्ष में सब हैं। पर यह भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आज के दिन ही केवल देश को याद आया है।
स्वच्छ भारत अभियान का हम स्वागत करते हैं। स्वच्छ भारत अभियान अच्छी चीज है, होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये सिर्फ जो है फोटो खिंचवाने का अवसर न रह जाए। ये लोग चलना चाहिए, लगातार चलना चाहिए, और ताकि स्वच्छता बनी रहे।
आज तो सब लोग घंटा 2 घंटा सफाई करके घर चले जाएंगे अपने, उसके बाद कौन सफाई करेगा? उसके बाद तो यही सफाई कर्मचारी सफाई करेंगे जो अभी साथ घूम रहे हैं हमारे। इनको इज्जत देनी जरूरी है, इनको सम्मान देना जरूरी है, इनकी समस्याओं का समाधान करना जरूरी है।
मुझे बड़ी खुशी होगी अगर ये जिम्मेदारी मुझे दी जाए, मैं सराखों पर कबूल करूंगा। और मेरा ये मानना है कि ये बहुत ही बड़ा कदम है। क्लीनलीनेस से हेल्थ पे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है। इसके अलावा जो हमारी जो वाटर बॉडीज हैं उनमें सफाई आती है।
Moving on, now a day after the Congress released its poll manifesto for Haryana, BJP came out with its own today. The party has promised SOPs for farmers and introduction of several welfare schemes in its manifesto. The BJP will be contesting alone for the first time in the state on October 15th.
BJP has released its poll manifesto for the Haryana Assembly elections this month. The manifesto, released a day after Congress's own, was full of promises for farmers, youth and women. In quite similar lines with the Congress manifesto, BJP too had a lot on offer. It has promised interest-free loans to farmers, food grains at ₹1 per kilo for economically weaker sections, tax-free pilgrimage scheme for senior citizens, ₹2,000 monthly pension for senior citizens and widows, and setting up of a higher court for the state, and job promises for unemployed youth.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सुशासन की स्थापना, एक अच्छा शासन, एक विकास और समृद्धि को समर्पित शासन, एक सुरक्षा को समर्पित शासन का एक ऐसा मौका है, एक स्वर्णिम मौका है, जिससे कि हरियाणा के लोगों ने मन बनाया हुआ है।
BJP will be looking to end the 10-year rule of Congress in Haryana. This is the first time that BJP has decided to go all alone in the assembly elections in the state. The party called off its alliance with Haryana Janhit Congress last month, making its job tougher. Apart from development and good governance, BJP is seeking votes against corruption in the state.
भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त हरियाणा लोकायुक्त की नियुक्ति सरकार बनने के 15 दिन के अंदर करेंगे।
The party will be depending a lot on the image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to make an impact in these elections. At least 10 rallies of Modi have been lined up in the next 2 weeks. It remains to be seen how effective will be its ploy to seek mandate with Modi as its face in the assembly elections too. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more election-related news now. Both former allies, the Congress and the NCP, released their poll manifestos for Maharashtra today. The two parties promised to put the state on a higher growth trajectory in the next 5 years. Both manifestos had a lot to offer to farmers and youth of the state.
A day after releasing its manifesto for Haryana, Congress came out with its version for Maharashtra on Thursday. Seeking a mandate on its own this time, the party focused on inclusive growth. The party also promised roads for every village in the state, new information technology hub between Pune and Nagpur, free tablets for class 9 pass students, free Wi-Fi in colleges, free education for girls.
आणि संयुक्त महाराष्ट्र झाला त्यावेळेसपासून यशवंतरावजी पासून तर पृथ्वीराजजी चव्हाण साहेबांच्यापर्यंत सातत्याने या राज्यामधला विकास पुढे नेण्याचं काम आणि या राज्याला सर्व घटकांना मजबूत करण्याचं काम काँग्रेस पक्षाच्या नेतृत्वाने सरकारने सातत्याने केलं. आज जाहीरनामा या ठिकाणी आम्ही समोर ठेवतो. तो जाहीरनामा याची जी कडी आहे.
NCP focused on attempting to woo farmers, youths and other sections of the society in its election manifesto for the upcoming assembly polls. The NCP has given special attention to education and employment. In its manifesto, NCP has promised pension to farm labourers, a child labour-free state in the next 5 years, 2,000 crore rupees for the development of minorities, a separate department for OBC in Mantralaya, hostels and special bus facility for women, free Wi-Fi and digital classrooms.
अन्य सुरक्षा योजनेच्या अंमलबजावणीसाठी दरमहा प्रत्येक कुटुंबास 35 किलो धान्य वाटप, 3 रुपये किलो दराने तांदूळ, 2 रुपये किलोने गहू, 1 रुपया किलोने भरड धान्य, यामधून 7 कोटी नागरिकांना या योजनेचा लाभ देण्याचा प्रयत्न.
After ruling the state together, NCP and Congress decided to end their 15-year-old alliance in the state recently. The alliance was called off after talks on seat sharing in the assembly polls failed to end the deadlock. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A war of words between the former allies Congress and NCP continued ahead of the assembly polls in Maharashtra. A day after former Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan proposed legal action against Ajit Pawar, NCP chief blamed Chavan for the breakup in the alliance. He also claimed that the Congress President Sonia Gandhi was not in favour of a split.
The end of a 15-year-old alliance seems to be quite bitter for the time being for both Congress and NCP. Both parties have been taking pot shots at each other in the past few days. Former Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan targeted former Deputy CM Ajit Pawar for his alleged involvement in irrigation scam. He said Pawar had wrongly occupied his position in the irrigation department. He also claimed that the coalition government with NCP in Maharashtra did not allow him to clean up the existing system. Ajit Pawar hit back at Chavan after the accusations. He said that NCP should also launch an investigation into some of the decisions taken by former Chief Minister. In a more direct attack, NCP chief Sharad Pawar blamed Chavan for the split in the alliance. He claimed that Congress President Sonia Gandhi was not in favour to call off the ties.
ये आगाज़ी होनी चाहिए. इसमें सबसे पहला कदम मैंने उठाया था. मैं खुद श्रीमती गांधी के घर में जाकर उनको रिक्वेस्ट की थी. उनका समर्थन था. उनकी भूमिका पॉजिटिव थी, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं. समस्या आ गई कि यहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री साहब ने इस बारे में एक बार एनसीपी के साथ मीटिंग करने के बाद अगले 3 दिन इन्होंने हमसे कभी बात नहीं की.
In a sign of how bitter the relations are now between the two sides, NCP has decided to support Congress rebel Vilas Patil Undalkar against Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan from Karat South Assembly constituency. NCP withdrew the name of its own candidate to back Undalkar, who is a 7-time MLA. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
You can stay in tune with what's happening in Maharashtra and Haryana, the poll-bound states, and watch the daily updates in our special election bulletin Verdict 2014 at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Well, it's time for a short break now, but watch how the flood tragedy in Kashmir could affect the cricketers this season. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Cricketers this season could be in for a shortage of bats. That is because the floods in Jammu and Kashmir washed away Kashmir willow worth crores of rupees that's used to make these bats. Kashmir produces 25 lakh ready-to-play and raw willow bats. The industry has a turnover of over 100 crore rupees and provides livelihood to lakhs of people. Here's a ground report.
Shami Nasir had 1,000 bats all ready to be sent to Canada. He had even taken an advance payment for them. Then the floods came and washed away all his efforts.
हमें समझ नहीं आया कि सैलाब कैसा आया और ये भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि हम क्या करेंगे अब हम भीख मांगने के लायक भी नहीं रह गए.
Bat makers have lost all their stocks of raw wood and cut pieces in the floods. The ones left behind are no good because of the dampness and the moisture spots.
हमारे पास जो ये इलेक्ट्रिक थे ये हमें काला हो चुके हैं पानी की वजह से इनमें बाढ़ आया और ये पूरा काला हुआ ये हमारे काम का नहीं है.
Even the cutting machines are damaged and many feel the loss is beyond repair. There's no money to repay the bank loans. Buying new machines look near impossible just yet.
पूरा रिजेक्ट हो गया. हमारा पार्टी लोग भी बाहर का यहाँ था उसने देखा वो हमारे घर में रुका था 15 दिन वो फंसा था हमारे घर में तो वो बाहर से आया था मगर उसने देखा हमारे मतलब का नहीं है ये.
The unprecedented deluge in Kashmir has crushed the backbone of the bat industry. It has dashed the hopes of hundreds of entrepreneurs who invested heavily for the 2015 Cricket World Cup. The 20-kilometer stretch from Jwabrara to Bijbehara on the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway, home to some 300 manufacturing units and their colourful showrooms, were must-visit spots for the travellers. Not anymore, as they stand in mournful isolation. Willowwood bat is one of the primary sources of revenue generation in Kashmir. This industry is now bracing for a lean period in the wake of devastation caused by floods, worst in 6 decades. Reporting from Anantnag with camera person Junaid, Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
You can watch the complete coverage of the Kashmir floods in our special report Paradise Lost at 10:30 p.m. tonight. Well, let's now bring you all the other national news and updates in our segment Nationwide. 6 civilians were injured in Pakistani firing along the line of control in the Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. The victims included 2 women. Pakistani troops started heavy firing at 6:40 p.m. on Wednesday in Sabja and Mandi and continued till midnight. 6 houses were damaged in the shelling and 5 live bombs were recovered. 45 AIA-DMK MPs today observed a fast in front of the Mahatma Gandhi statue in the Parliament complex. They were protesting against the conviction of party chief and former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. Jayalalitha was sentenced to 4 years in jail in an 18-year-old disproportionate assets case. A special court in Bangalore also imposed a fine of 100 crore rupees on the 27th of September. 14 infants, all below 1 year, died in Burdwan Medical College and Hospital of West Bengal within 24 hours. Hospital Deputy Superintendent Dr. Tapas Kumar Ghosh said there was a staff shortage because of the festive season and only 2 nurses were looking after 360 infants. Ghosh also added that while hospital beds were increased in recent years, employees were lacking. Moving on now, Pakistan has accused India of showing inflexible attitude in efforts to resolve the Siachen issue. Pak Foreign Ministry spokesperson claimed India never gave any positive response to a proposal to demilitarize the area and declare it as a peace park. She said Pakistan and India will have to resume the composite dialogues for the sake of sustainable peace in the region. She also claimed that Kashmir remains a legal issue which should be resolved as per the aspirations of the Kashmiri people through plebiscite.
The demilitarization of Siachen has been under discussion in the past as well, and making Siachen a peace park. The problem came when India was not willing to withdraw troops without authentication of the actual position that they hold, which legally was not possible. So that's where this stopped. If Pakistan and India are talking and Pakistan is taking along the views of the Kashmiris, hence the regular consultations with them, then it's in no way violates the UN Security Council resolutions or goes against that.
Well, China on Thursday sent out a strong message to the West. The Chinese foreign minister said that the issue concerning Hong Kong is of China's internal affairs and the United States should back off from it. The message came even as a top Chinese envoy warned that drawn-out pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong could tarnish the city's reputation. Here's a report. US Secretary of State John Kerry called for Hong Kong to show restraint toward pro-democracy protesters, while his Chinese counterpart said countries should not meddle in China's internal affairs.
And we have high hopes that the Hong Kong authorities will exercise restraint and respect the protesters' right to express their views peacefully.
我愿意同克里国务卿就我们共同关心的国际地区问题，尤其是我们双边的战略合作，来深入交换意见，争取达成更多的共识。谢谢各位。
Dozens of protesters opposing the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong on Thursday voiced their opposition against Occupy Central. The demonstrators urged protesters to end a blockade of the city centre, saying it will harm the economy.
Not the silent majority is dead. We are here. We want to support the police because we can see that the police suffered a lot in the past few weeks, and it continues. And we don't want our Hong Kong economy to be damaged by these people, and they don't represent us at all.
The Hong Kong government also urged the Occupy movement to end their protests immediately, saying their actions were affecting public order and the provision of public services. The city streets were calm on Thursday, while police largely kept their distance from the thousands of mostly young people keeping up protests. Pro-democracy protesters said the anti-Occupy rally did not surprise them.
I think it's normal because in a city there are many different voices, and when you disrupt other people's life, you can anticipate some opposite voice. Yeah, and I think it is really a little bit disruptive to other people's life here because they may not support this campaign.
Protesters have been occupying parts of Hong Kong since last weekend, demanding that Hong Kong's leader Leung Chun-ying step down and to voice their support for full democracy. Both sides have dug their heels in and there seems to be no immediate solution in sight. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. Moving on now, Julia Pearson resigned as the US Secret Service Director on Wednesday after just a year and a half in the job. Her resignation came after a series of major security lapses that eroded President Obama's confidence in her ability to run the agency tasked with protecting him. Here's a report.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to
U.S. Secret Service Director Julia Pearson resigned on Wednesday after a series of security lapses came to light involving the protection for President Barack Obama. Pearson's abrupt departure, a day after Obama expressed full confidence in her, came as lawmakers from both parties called for her ouster after her halting performance during a House hearing on Tuesday. Aides said a decisive factor in the president's change of heart was learning from news accounts that a private security guard with a gun and criminal history was not been screened before being allowed to board an elevator with him last month in Atlanta.
Director Pearson offered her resignation today because she believed that it was in the best interests of the agency to which she has dedicated her career. The Secretary agreed with that assessment. The President did as well. Over the last several days, we've seen recent and accumulating reports raising questions about the performance of the agency, and the President concluded that new leadership of that agency was required.
Pearson testified on Capitol Hill, telling members of Congress that she accepted full responsibility for the recent security breaches.
I'm here today to address the concern that we all share following the incident of September 19th at the White House. It's clear that our security plan was not properly executed. This is unacceptable, and I take full responsibility, and I will make sure that it does not happen again.
Pearson was installed by Obama in March 2013 as the first female director in the agency's 148-year history. Her appointment was aimed at helping the agency overcome a reputation as a boys' club after prostitution scandal the previous year. But her tenure was rocky. Joseph Clancy, a veteran of the agency, has now been named acting director. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on to some sports news now, India bounced back to the top 10 in the medal tally after winning 2 gold medals in the Asian Games today. Indian men won the hockey final by beating arch rivals Pakistan through the penalty shootout. Moments later, the Indian women won the gold in the 4x400 meters relay by clocking a new Games record. Athletes and boxers rounded up India's success today with 3 more bronze medals. Here's more.
It was a final that many fans dreamed of. India and Pakistan in men's hockey final in Asian Games. Stakes were high for both sides in a high-pressure match. Pakistan took the lead early in the game through Mohammad Rizwan. India equalized through Kotajit Singh in the 27th minute. For the rest of the match, both sides pressed hard for the winning goal. In the shootout, India led right from the start. Indian custodian P.R. Srijis made 2 breathtaking saves to guide the team to the top of the podium. India regained its top slot in Asian men's hockey after 16 years.
एशियाड के अंदर गोल्ड मेडल 16 साल के बाद हमको मिला है। एक बहुत बड़ी हमारी अचीवमेंट हॉकी के अंदर जो होना चाहिए, बहुत पहले होना चाहिए था, वो आज हमको खुशी मिली है। और मैं ये मानता हूँ कि इस मेडल से हमारे कितने रास्ते, कितने दरवाजे खुल गए, हॉकी के नहीं खेलों के दरवाजे खुलेंगे।
भारत ने पाकिस्तान को एशियन गेम्स में हराकर मैं समझता हूँ बहुत पुराना बदला लिया है, क्योंकि कुछ ऐसा इत्तेफाक रहा है कि हमेशा पाकिस्तान एशियन गेम्स में जीतती रही थी और हम लोग नहीं जीत पाते थे।
There were more cheer for India in track and field. Indian women pulled off a splendid run to win the gold in 4x400 relay. The team of Priyanka Pawar, Tintu Luka, Mandeep Kaur and M.R. Purvama set a new games record. This is the 4th gold in the event for Indian women in 4 consecutive games. Indrajit Singh also won a bronze in men's shot put. Indian boxer Satish Kumar and Vikas Krishnan won 2 more bronze medals in men's 91 and 75 kg categories. Indian will have more medals on store on Friday as men's and women's team will compete in the Kabaddi finals. At the end of the day, India regained its place in the top 10 of the medals tally with 55 medals. China, South Korea and Japan maintained their top 3 slots. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
That's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.